everyone, I hope you're all well. So this is going to be a check-in for Sebastian's case. Honestly, since my last reading, I found it very hard. I just felt like there was nothing to read on. Could I make a reading? Yes, of course. But you probably know by now I'm not into the gossipy type of stuff. And I'm probably not up to date with everything. I know that when I've opened my YouTube channel to answer any comments, when you do cases, you'll find sometimes your feed is basically linking into, as a content creator, you don't even have to search for those things, but your feed will be based upon maybe some of the subjects you're doing. And so I would see random stuff. So I can't remember when my last reading was on this. Where's my phone? Hang on a sec. I think it might be 3 weeks ago now. When was the last? I know that it was part 10. And I know that there was a lot of people that didn't agree with what I said in terms of the first statements from the PIs that I didn't agree with. And behold, I know that one PI has stepped down or, no longer working. I don't know if the other one has, but, and some people are going to disagree. You can disagree and you can be constructive in your comments, not trolling. But I don't see that being a success either. I just, there was the whole thing of Seth and, Chris, face to face at the vigil. And, I read on that, so do check that out rather than me sort of repeating and boring some people. It was, what date is this? Because it shows me weekly. You might hear my voice as I press play. Hang on a sec. What date? Yeah, 3 weeks ago. It was on the 29th of April. And so I know that one PI stepped down, got fired, whatever it is. And I do think the next one is not going to have the breakthrough either. I honestly don't think Seth needs any of that. But I don't feel the energy of professionalism or substantial experience. You're a PI, just get to the work. There's no need to say someone's marriage was in a bad situation and that's your first statement as soon as you come on board to the public. It's important to know, but okay, so let me put it this way, because I know I can feel people irritated saying this person, that person, or X name of the PIs, they were doing a great job, they were professional. People just go follow each other like sheep of whatever they hear until the next big tangent comes on. Just get to the work. Have we seen a breakthrough? No. So again, I don't know what's happening. I know I saw okay, so why is my throat chakra going now? I know that I saw there's a new PR person that Seth has taken on board. And so since my reading 3 weeks ago, it's over 3 weeks ago, the 29th of April, what have we seen? This thumbnails that I've seen are all random thumbnails I've seen, so it made me feel like there wasn't a breakthrough. And psychically, I don't think, I knew there was not going to be any breakthrough in terms of actually finding Sebastian. I did see that there was a picture of a boy they thought was Sebastian. I think some people were saying it was AIs, whether it's psychics or readers. Some people were saying, but I think it's turned out not to be Sebastian. Obviously with me channeling Sebastian, I didn't necessarily have doubts there. What else do I know? I don't know if Seth has taken a step back. Remember a few readings ago, Seth needs to take a step back from YouTube for a bit. Still do the work, have the voice out there, but he's probably going to show the side of being hot-tempered. and probably also maybe saying some stuff that won't be going down very well. So I wonder if Tony has helped, if he's been at the forefront of being on sort of the social media, but I also wonder if Tony is being a bit like, has there been anything constructive in terms of what's coming out, even on the podcasters? I mentioned that it was going to get crazy on social media. Everyone was going to want a piece of the pie. I've mentioned that right from the beginning. I've mentioned divine timings at play here, and it's still at play. There's things rolling out, and also as soon as the coin drops, that's when everyone's going to get clear in terms of psychically, a very clear understanding of when Sebastian will be found, or, you know, when I say found in this, it means whether it's remains or whatever it is. You know my readings and you know what I think of that, where we are on that. I did mention if the summer is going to be the time he is found. Summer we cover is 16 weeks. There are 3.5 significant weeks, 2 lots of them across those 16 weeks. I mentioned that in a previous reading. That's if it's the summer. At the moment, I feel the energy is wavering around this, not around the 3 weeks. I feel the 3.5 weeks, each one that I've mentioned in the past reading, are very precise, but I feel there's a wavering of divine timing in terms of whether it will be this summer. Okay, I'm not read on that, and I've purposely not read on the exact timing. What else do we have? You know, I presume a lot of YouTubers have hit like 100k, 1,000 subscribers, etc. Because they're bringing the juice, they're bringing the drama, they're bringing etc. And that's fine, you know, you make your book. But what about, I would say, what about, you've got that large platform now. By gaining, like, let's say you've gained in the last week 5,000 subscribers and 100 memberships. How about maybe printing some flyers, or even donating, if you don't want to donate because you're not sure where it's going in terms of whether it was, you know, Seth or whatever. How about printing flyers or doing something? You know, you are getting it out there, but in terms of, it's just a lot of juice and a lot of drama, and we've mentioned it in the readings, and it's unfolding precisely so. If you remember this candle last time, you know, this is a creme brulee candle, and I've put a new one in it. I was looking at it and I felt extremely nauseous and sick. Not in the last reading, the one prior, I believe. I had to stop, and I'm someone, even if I've had food poisoning, I'm not somebody who vomits. So it was really disturbing. I felt very nauseous. I had to stop the recording. I'm also someone that can hold my ground. So that was, and I had to blow the candle out. I had to move away from it to get out my vision. And so I wonder if there's also been some poisoning or something that was given to Sebastian. I do think the thud is relevant. I don't think the thud was a distraction. I think it's a relevance. There's a relevance there to the thud. I still believe it was done at the home. So where are we? Everyone, let me know. Is this turned into a criminal investigation yet, or are we still on the missing person? Has any UV or pickup truck been in question, or searched, or sent, or Lumini been done? I think the police are well behind on a press conference. I think that is ridiculous. I think there needs to be clarity. Again, something that I would have thought the PI should come out with. These are the facts, these are where we stand, these are probably things we're going to look at, but more or less get down to the actual nitty-gritty of work, and people should not know your movements. I know that everyone said everyone wants to bring everyone close, Seth, Chris and Katie. I don't think that they've been successful in it, and probably going back to the way it's been actually approached. Is that an objective of Tony? I am not sure. We can look at Tony's energy. I feel like it might be like a nonchalant kind of energy. So I haven't really looked into anything that he's been on, but I haven't seen any thumbnail that brings him up. That's kind of like just him solely. I want to speak about this case. This. I've not seen that, and I might be wrong, you know, because I've not watched stuff, so you guys will be up to date. One pointer I do want to say, actually, too, before I forget, May, if you notice May's energy, I usually do, or I used to do, a monthly energy read for us to guide us through the energy. But if you go back to my December psychic predictions, you'll find that I separated this year of big breakdowns of stuff and predictions, and there is still some more predictions that I'm towing whether to do or not. But one of the predictions would tie into similar to the Micah Miller case. Okay, if you're interested in reading in that, let me know. To be honest, a lot of it will be just without the tarot, but I'll use tarot for visionary because I know exactly what's happened there. I don't know, actually, God knows, so I don't mean to blow my trumpet, but what I mean is I can give my 2 cents on that without the tarot. I like to use tarot as a divination, especially if I'm not on camera. The past 2 reads, like Suzanne Murphy and was the one before that, and King Charles, I've actually come on camera for a bit of the time and then back to the tarot. I think I mentioned in one of the last so just going back to the podcasters, if you don't want to donate, you know, the other day I pulled up, I was interested to see because, you know, a lot of the stuff that's hit the media, not a lot, but considering the amount of kids that go missing or adults, Tennessee has been in the news, we can't deny that. So I pulled up their missing list, and there was actually a baby that was 2 days old missing. You're not going to tell me this was not in the hospital. So who has snatched that baby, or have the parents organized for someone to take that baby, you know, like adopt that baby? It really makes me feel sad and sick. And so, you know, when you have a large platform, just take 2 minutes of your 4 hours of your life, of whatever you're venting on doing, to maybe say, okay, just this 5 minutes, we're going to go through this missing persons case. This is the picture, and this is what last happened. And if you know, this is the tip line. It won't take much if you do it every time, and you know, you're making your book off a case. And this is why I haven't done the reading for the 3 weeks. I feel like there's a lot of exploitation, and you can't control it. And probably I don't do myself justice or favor not to be doing that sort of, not to follow what others are doing. I did about 10 days ago, I was in the car and I was thinking, because I want to cover another story or reading for Corey, I did a little 15-minute reading on the 6th of May. I was going to post it, but then I wanted to continue it with some other stuff before people jump to the gun of what I concluded in that 15 minutes. So I was kind of like, I wonder if Sebastian is feeling that I'm sort of diverting my energy. And he kind of understood. So it was sort of, and I was in the car driving, so I didn't want to channel, but I was kind of like, I wonder if you've got any message. And it was sort of, hold my dad. So I feel like there might have been a bit, you know, what we said in terms of burnout, or maybe if you've seen on any podcast, Seth being a burnout or even emotional. I'm not sure if that's come up in the past 3 weeks. Just 1 second, because I've got a candle burner and I need to check the water. Okay, no, we're okay there. So that might have come through. Remember I mentioned I wanted to discuss a Nancy Grace interview. So a client actually sent me this about 3 days ago or 2 days ago, and she said there was a disclosure that Nancy Grace had done in terms of Seth and Tony saying not to, I think she meant Tony, the PR guy, not to discuss certain things, and she went and discussed it. So she said, you know, you mentioned something like this, you're predicting it. And I was thankful for that. And at the same time, the other thing that I wanted to mention is that obviously she's a well-respected lady, and it's beautiful that she covers multiple cases, and she's got a large channel, so she has her voice out there. And I think that's great. One thing I do want to point out is that if you go back to the interview with Chris and Katie, I don't know why I want to say Cress, and it's reminding me, do you know, I don't know if I've got any viewers in the UK, and you might have done it in this. Can you remember at one time, it depends how old you are, there used to be like, it's not a potato head, but it's like a head, and then you water the head of it, and then it grows grass or it grows cress. Oh, why has that come through? Anyway, maybe Sebastian had one. But we sometimes would grow cress, because you can grow cress by simply having the seeds in a bit of tissue paper and then water as well. Anyway, let's get back to it now. I've lost my chain of thoughts. But if you go back to that interview with Chris and Katie, it was very much an interview, not an interview, it was very much a kind of like, yes ma'am, no ma'am, this man. And that was a very big missed opportunity, I'm sorry to say it. There should have been a lot more open questions, there should have been a lot more potential for dialogue, as opposed to, and did you do this? And how about the car for this? Was it here, was it there? It didn't give the space for open information to come in. And I'm sorry if some of you disagree with me, but this is something that I was actually going to pull up the interview and analyze with you all, but I'm just bringing that forward. What else have we had? What else has gone on? I wonder if the police are working, again, I don't know if it's turned into criminal, but are the police working on it or not? I've not heard about more sort of investigations. I've not heard about criminal case or any more in terms of the home, a UV, the pickup truck, some things that could be very significant. Now, just going back to the Micah Miller case, also, two things I said about the Micah Miller case. One thing with that is, if we go back to my readings, and if I'm one of those psychics, I would tell you that I got an interconnect. Right before Micah Miller's case, at the time of her disappearance, and the exact dates of her disappearance and probably her death. I read that part 10 in a previous reading as well, and I was getting downloads of burning, and I was questioning myself that why, and I didn't want to write it on a criminologist, a psychologist in criminology's channel. I was watching something, it's not related to Sebastian, and I was wondering why, if they don't want to be found out, didn't they burn the body? And I didn't want to write that because it's really heavy. But at the same time, it's really heavy for you to have involvement in your loved one and do whatever's done to your loved one. So I was thinking about that. So I was getting the thing about burning and cremation. And then, because I was also, you know, obviously with the readings I do, I sometimes just randomly might think of it, but I try to cut off the energy because it can be quite draining. And that's why I don't cover so many cases all at once. And I also got in one of the readings initials P and Q. There was validation around that, and I also got the initials JP. So if I were a psychic that always validates my readings or interconnects. I believe Micah Miller's husband's initials, was it John Paul? And I don't know what her case is. If you're interested in that reading or what I think around that, let me know so that I don't go too much in detail here. But I don't know if there was something around burning with her or burning total evidence of certain stuff. And they would have been two interconnects, you know, coming through on the last readings I've done. The other thing I wanted to mention about the energy readings is that in May, we are in a kind of a placid energy. So if you think of February was like Madeline Soto, Sebastian, Elijah. May has been, and this is globally as well, May has been sort of the calm, enjoy it at the moment, because it will rev up starting again in June. It'll start to rev up. Okay, so that's a psychic prediction for you. So let's see how that goes. So we know, we can see the unfolding, the divine timing that's happening. I wonder if Katie and Chris have come forward. I presume Chris, not come forward, interesting I say that, on any social media. I presume Chris might have done. But has Katie, have they done any more official interviews? I think it's ridiculous the police haven't done. Actually, before I tap into asking the question I was going to ask, let's ask, I'm just shuffling the cards, making sure they're all upright. Let's ask how law enforcement moving on this, or are they taking more of a complicit? It's just not making sense. Even if it's not changed into a criminal investigation, this is where Seth can do this alone, and he needs the donations. It's the resources, it's the professional equipment of like the, not so much sonar, probably everyone will say that, more or less the Lumini light and stuff like that now. Also with those that are doing the finding Sebastian, I think that's such a beautiful thing, taking time out from your thing. But maybe there's, instead of doing it like a 4-hour search on the channel, maybe actually disconnect a little bit for the time you're searching, because we can miss things and we don't get the downloads when we're doing, unless you're doing it as a body cam and you're not necessarily engaging with the audience while you're searching. I just think we can miss stuff. Okay, and I, you know, again, it's only my opinion, disclaimers applied, as we know. What was I just going to ask? Okay, so show me the current energy of law enforcement on the case of Sebastian Rogers. I'm just getting reminded that he wants ice cream, or he likes ice cream here. King of Swords. Okay, actually that's good. So that's confirming that I am tapping into their energy. Law enforcement's energy on Sebastian's case. 10 of Cups. 6 of Swords. Okay, they're not turning their back. Okay, I think they're focusing, whether we know it or not, they are focusing on the family here. They're focusing on the home. They're focusing on who his family members are. They have not turned their back. They've not turned their back away from the case and sort of, what can I say here? They're not redirecting their energy somewhere else. So in the background, it looks like they are trying to focus on the family. And here we've got the Star card and we've got the Moon in reverse. Okay, there are some fears here. I wonder if they're starting to think that it was done at the night time. This Star card, please clarify. 4 of Cups and the 2 of Pentacles. they're kind of looking at who's not cooperating, who's sort of, and this could be, it's very important for Seth not to show this kind of energy when law enforcement talk to him, because, you know, we would say who's not cooperating, Chris and Katie, but for some reason, I feel like this is Seth. So he's really got to juggle how he's actually responding emotionally, responding in general between whoever he's got on board, his emotional internal sort of ups and downs, and the choices that he makes at this moment in time are very important in terms of law enforcement coming to conclusions. We know that here the moon in reverse and the star, you know, the star card again is, it seems like they want to heal, they want to come to the healing of the situation, they want to have that breakthrough, the police. So I don't think they're idle in the background, and if someone does think they're idle, it could be a bit naive, okay? But again, I think they need to do a press conference, even if there's no update, there's no significant update. But these are the things we know so far, and it seems like they don't know much so far, but they probably don't really want to say we're focusing on the family, because that's going to kick up all kinds of, what can I say, like panic within those that know about it. Now, I won't be surprised if someone behind the scenes or a couple of people behind the scenes have tried to reach out to Katie. But yeah, there's the police trying to separate the reality from the illusion. So what is getting reported in that is truth and what is not truth, you know, like the picture we saw, etc. And they're having a bit of a hard time around that, you know, making sure there's no misinterpretation or mental confusion, and that could be a bit of their challenge and their blocks from what I'm seeing in these cards. So that is good news, but this is not very good news. But I think in the current circumstances, we know that that is a big possibility. So now let's check Katie's energy, because I don't know, she seems to be in the background, but then again, I'm not up to date, so I could be wrong. Katie's energy at the moment, remember, energy can change. If it's two cards, I'll take it. Queen of Wands. She has turned up as a Queen of Wands in readings. She's blocked by fear. She's blocked by challenging decision here. You know, bit of fear facing reality. And is this the moon again? The moon. There's the fears, what I was mentioning. I felt fears blocking her, secrets that she's holding. Hermit, this hermit always comes out. And then we've got the Four of Swords. It's interesting, we've got the Magician here, right? So it just flipped, but it didn't pop out. So I'm deciding whether I take that energy. But we know that there's manipulation here, so it's not a new energy. You know, again, she knows what happened that evening. She knows that it happened. She knows exactly what happened. And again, I feel like this is her and him. I've always said it. By the way, in that evening, she might have put him out. Well, I've always felt that could be a case. She might have put him out, but then she's brought him in. She's brought him back in. Definitely done in the dark. She definitely holds the light to this. We know that. I've asked for the current energy. The current energy is very much her holding her ground. But again, there's the fears, there's the challenging decision here, because she knows about it. She knows about the manipulation as well of the story. More on Katie, please. Seth's mum. Katie's current energy. Can you see the cards flying out? Bloody hell. Star card, okay. Two of Cups, ooh, not very good. So here there's a disharmony, okay. And I think this disharmony was, okay, Spirit, how do you want me to put this? How do you want me to put this? Is it past or is it present? I think there's a bit of disharmony and emotional blocks at the moment in their relationship. When I see it with this card, let's say it's in this, you know, this past trauma that's not healed here with her. There's past trauma that's not healed, and there's definitely trauma now that's obviously ongoing. We've got 2 and 2, which is interesting. So there's a disharmony of decisions. There's a disharmony on the way she's seeing things. I think the reason I'm called to read on her energy, I think she's very much, do you know when you live with someone but they're not in a place of discussing? So maybe she's very much quiet. She's very much in her own space, even though they're living together. She's just not feeling that harmony, that connection at the moment. There could be sort of that separation in the connection. Yeah, look, the home is not a happy home at the moment. And I don't think it's they're arguing. I just think she's very quiet. And she's not talkative. She's not in a happy place, and we would understand that. But then look, yeah, the marriage and the home. A bit of disconnect between, you know, when you've had an argument with someone, I'm taking it on the very basic level, you know, when you've had an argument with someone and you kind of like, but you're married and you live with them and you're kind of like pissed off, but you're also just, you're beyond arguing, you're beyond, and I don't think they're beyond arguing, but this is a big thing of a big secret between them. And I think she's just a bit disconnected. Holding on to the narrative, holding on to the secrets, holding on to knowing what was done, holding on to all the resources to break the case. Holding on to, this is patience, but I feel like it's kind of, I feel like it's their energy, so his energy and her energy. Last 2 cards, please, Spirit. 10 of Cups. I feel like this card is going to be contradictory to clarify this 10 of Cups of the energy. 6 of Wands. I need another card because there's 2 messages. King of Swords. And I've got the Death here. I was saying 1 card. The reason I said another card is because I wanted to know, is this sort of playing the image of a happy family? But obviously in a very sensitive way. Recognizing, trying to have that recognition that what is this? She can't be showing that as a happy family. I just feel like she's not showing this current disconnect or dysfunction, basically. That's what I mean here. And why I pulled the King of Swords is just being very strategic on showing family life and the home life energy at this moment in time to the public, especially when it comes around what happened to Sebastian, and also around future plans. So that's what we've got there. Obviously, when we do our next check-in, it could be different. Let's shuffle again, and now I want to check on, should we check Seth's energy? I feel like it's known. I actually wanted to check on Tony's energy, Tony Methis. So I don't know how long I've been blabbing for though. Why has Jen Soto just come through? And it's kind of like, why are people shocked? I don't know. So in my last reading, obviously from the day one, I knew she knew, and she obviously allowed it. But now I did mention that it's going to be critical around the lawyer. I mentioned that she's feeling the red shoes, and someone put in the comments, no place like home. So I feel like she's definitely going to be feeling there's no place like home. So I don't know if there's been a breakthrough on that. But like I mentioned, now with him, there might be some to protect him or whatever, although I would say that he just needs to plead guilty. I don't know why people are shocked at whatever's just going to come through. But then maybe you've not tapped into my reading. So if you want the Micah Miller case thing as well, let me know. Corey's coming up. I need to do a reading on that, complete it and add to the chapter. Also another Elijah view. Bless him, bless that kid, you know, just it sits so close to my heart, that thing, that case. Are we doing Seth, people? See if this is alive. You could tell me no. We want Seth's energy as well. Bottom of the deck, bit of insomnia. Let's do Seth's energy. Seth's energy at the moment. Seth's energy at the moment, please, Spirit. Seth's energy. Okay, so we've got the Six of Cups, we've got the Strength card, we've got the Three of Pentacles, we've got the Ace of Wands. He's working with people. He's hoping for a new breakthrough. He's tapping into his inner strength. He's very much also thinking about the past, thinking about memories with Sebastian, okay? That also requires, when he thinks of that, a lot of strength. I don't know why, and we've got the Death card. He's actually starting to wonder if, you know, he was holding hope, but he's starting to wonder if this is the case, and that he can't be in denial about it in order to move forward and find Sebastian's resting position, resting place. Interesting, I say position. Remember how I mentioned he could be, and remember I mentioned about this card in the last reading, 10 of Pentacles and the Sagittarius Temperance card in reverse. He's losing his patience, so maybe that's coming through. He's losing his patience around home dynamics, so people around the home. He's losing his patience around things around money. Maybe he also requires a little bit of money. Remember I said about funding and stuff like that. To be honest, I'll tell you, Seth doesn't need a private investigator unless the investigator is tied in professionally with the law enforcement that has connections where they can use the resources and really get the law enforcement on their back. Not investigators that are going to come on social media podcasts and talk stuff while they're not doing the actual essence of the groundwork, that a lot of it should be behind the scenes with updates like in law enforcement. So, and maybe the PR, yes, because I'm not sure he understands how to present himself, but also if I was a PR person on that, as well as being on the channels with him, I would probably doing my own thing. So I'd be on the channel saying, look, this is what we know. I want to put stuff straight. This is what we know. Not people asking me questions. I'm going to be, this is what we know. This is what's happening. And this is what I'd like for you to do. If you'd like to help, this is an email. This is a link. You need to email me and I can update you or whatever. So I don't know how that's going, but he is losing patience. He is losing patience. Interesting, he's losing patience also around the people that are trying to, that he thought he could have to work with him. 2 people here, maybe the private investigators, one we know is gone. So is the other one in question? Is he kind of like shining a light? Page of Swords, he's running impatient with the lack of breakthroughs, the lack of facts coming through, the lack of proper research done. So maybe that's come up with the private investigators or anyone he's worked with. Could also be a law enforcement. So we see that is in energy actually, and he is in a bit of a fiery energy here. We've got a what's this? I'd love to know his date of birth, his zodiac, because I think I place him within one zodiac and I wonder if it would be right. 6 of Wands, still on social media from what I see, very much still trying to be out there. Please clarify. 10 of Pentacles, additional message. There's too many cards for me, we're going to do it again. 10 of Pentacles, Star card in reverse, and the World card in reverse. The loss of faith, you know, but he feels like online is going to help with, there's a lot of tying in with money, a lot of money being made online, and I think he's recognizing that. He's recognizing that a lot of people could be making money about this online in a not in a centered heart place kind of energy. So that's interesting to see. 2 of Swords, challenging decisions, fears of what could maybe come forward around the finding of Sebastian. Knight of Wands. It's not Sebastian's age range, but this could represent the secrets around Sebastian's case. You know, his disappearance, his unaliving. Did you want Chris's energy or Tony's energy? Do we have, I don't know how long I've been blabbing for, as I usually say. Let's look at Tony's energy. And if you want Chris in the other one in the next reading, you can let me know. I also, I don't know if I've mentioned this in another reading, but with the custody battle of Faye that was ongoing with his daughter, and knowing that, I don't know if this has come out, but Sebastian was probably not able to have personal boundaries, a bit socially awkward. Was the courts aware that that could not necessarily be a safe environment, as Sebastian is growing, is male, and she's I don't know, is she early teens or 10 or something? I've got no idea. And so is that another kind of thing? But again, Sebastian was to leave in summer, so just putting that out there. Remember I said a lot of stuff that I meant is not the forefront of why it happened on that day, but certain thoughts bring stuff forward. Who are we doing Tony, the PR's energy, please, Spirit, on this case. I don't necessarily get that it's a negative energy, but a nonchalant kind of energy. Tony Memphis. Tony Memphis or Memphis? So he's trying to shine a light, you know, he's trying to shine a light. He is a bit nonchalant, a bit smug kind of energy, but in the background, I think he's coming from a heart sense, a good place, trying to shine a light. I think he's trying to shine a light as well, yes, confirming around the home, around the homes, around the family. And I think he thinks that's the direction it needs to go in, okay? They caused the heartbreak, and the here we've got the Emperor, the heartbreak that he's recognizing Seth has. All right. What else about Tony Memphis, please? Four of Cups, Two of Wands. He's not taking every opportunity. So again, I wonder if this is the energy that I was getting, a bit more of a conservative energy in certain things. I also feel like he sometimes feels like maybe Seth is in this sort of energy, but like I feel like sometimes he's trying to extend a peaceful kind of hand, and maybe this has been to other people that's not been necessarily welcomed, but he's always planning and looking forward. Show me Tony's energy, last few cards please, Spirit, on the case. We had this card, Page of Swords in reverse, and the Ace of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. He's definitely bringing clarity in communication. So he's being honest in his communication, that's what I see. But the Page of Swords tells me that maybe there's not enough online presence from his side, research basically, okay? I think he's, what I mean with that is he's not stalking everything that's going on online, where I think Seth was at some stage, and I think maybe Chris and Katie are. And that's how there were kind of, Seth was coming to a burnout. I would have presumed Seth would call in shows as well. But Tony is not monitoring every beck and call of what is being put out there in terms of social media, okay? He is trying not to get into the gossip and the energy that's going around, that's dishonesty with no action. He's trying to bring some sort of breakthrough here around the situation and case, okay? This is, you know, this is sort of the arrogance, the gossip, and being all talk kind of energy, but then we see a breakthrough. So I think he's trying not to focus on that. He's trying to ignore that, and trying to work. He's more or less working solely on this. This is telling me. So I don't know who else is on Seth's team, if there was another investigator, or if Seth is actually looking to expand the team and he's looking to expand the team, add someone on. But here we do get that he's currently working on this alone. I'm going to put these back because I didn't continue asking what the next question is. I don't know what it is. Okay, so any final cards in terms of Tony on this case, please, Spirit? Any final cards? Hierophant. I feel like he is trying to work with law enforcement. Is he part... Is he... Yeah. Split the deck. Temperance. He is trying to work in it. I wonder if he's quite set in his thoughts. I feel like he comes from quite a set kind of thought on the way things need to be done. And around society, but he has his set thoughts around what happened to Sebastian. He might not be vocalizing them or telling you exactly the keys that he thinks could be in this case. I think he's being very sensible around that. So that's his energy there. Shall we tap into Chris quickly? I don't know how long I've been blabbing. Let's just check the camera. Oh no. So what we'll do is I'll do it in the next part. I have done a reading on the Black Dahlia. Do any of you know the Black Dahlia case? I actually did it a couple of months ago, but I've just not, I've processed it, but I've just not posted it because we've been so busy with this. So if you're interested in that, let me know and I'll get it out. I definitely will get it out. I actually did it when I did it a couple of months ago. I shared it with Patreons, and so interesting. Now if you like this or you like any of the content, give it a like and subscribe, and take care everyone. I hope you are blessed. Enjoy May. It seems to be a lot more of a calmer energy. I really feel it's going to start to, even though summertime tends to calm down, in terms of our 3D life, I think there's going to be a revving up of energy. So enjoy this at the moment. Take care and bye for now. Bye.